Hey marketers, welcome to the Marketer Podcast. Today, you meet Mariana Cambauva, a Brazilian lawyer who is an expert in Irish immigration law. Get ready to learn about work permit types and essential tips from those seeking a work visa. I'm Camila Odilon, your host and founder of Marketing Island Community, helping immigrants, marketers, and students succeed in their career. Ready? Welcome to the show. Thank you so much to accept my invitation. Thank you for your time. Please introduce yourself.
No problem at all, Camila. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm really happy and excited to be here. I think you have a lot of to discuss about this employment permit word. I think it is a subject that brings a lot of interest and curiosity for a lot of people, and I'm happy to demystify it and explain a little bit better. And maybe you guys are gonna be able to understand a little bit better how things work, and that's it.
Lovely. Tell about your story. How, from the beginning, how you came here to Ireland. Tell about yourself. I'm sure the audience would love to know about you.
Okay, so I first arrived in Ireland back in 2013 as a student, as the majority of us. So I was supposed to come to Ireland to stay only for 6 months, but I ended up being here for 2 years. I was at the time already in the law school in Brazil, so I was at the fourth period, but I decided to come to Ireland. As I said, I was supposed to stay 6 months, and I spent 2 years here. But by the end of the second year, I decided to return to Brazil because it was time to finish what I've started over there. I thought that I was going to spend only 1 more year in Brazil because as I left on the fourth period, on the fourth year, I was going to have to finish just my last year. But I was completely wrong because the principal told me that I was going to have to do 3 years more. So I spent 3 years more in Brazil. I finished the law college. I was approved the Brazilian bar exam. And then as soon as I did it, I returned to Ireland. It has always been my plan to return to Ireland since the time that I left. So I was really happy when all of this happened.
Wow. So always you want to be here, isn't it?
Yeah, I never want to leave, but it was kind of forced. I wanted to because I want to finish my law course and want to become a lawyer, but it was necessary, and I don't regret at all. I don't regret at all.
Wow, well done you, fair play. I believe you need a lot of emotional control to deal with that, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's true, definitely, but it's worth it. It was worth it. It's still being worth it because if I haven't done this, I wouldn't be here now at the position that I'm in.
Yeah, so, I think that's great for my first question. You initially came to Ireland as an English student. So what motivated you to return to Brazil and study law and then come back to Ireland? What exactly was your motivation for that?
Yeah, so I always want to work with international law, but I didn't know how I would find myself in this area. So when I came here as a student, I tried to find a way how I could work in this field. I always loved English. I always tried to learn how to speak better, but also I had another passion, which was the law. So I've tried to put my both passions together. So during the time that I spent here, I started researching how I could start to work on this field here. And then I found out there was not a lot of Brazilian workers on this field. So I thought, okay, so I have a field there. And the only thing that I need to do is specialize and study about the subject, and maybe I can do it.
Wow, well done. Well done. It's really hard because you had all the possibilities to think, okay, just give up that, just come back to Brazil and come back to my life. But I know okay, what I have to do to achieve my goals. So then you create a plan.
Yeah.
And you follow your plan.
Yeah. It wasn't easy at all. Yeah, especially because at the time I had my boyfriend. I left him here. So I stayed a long distance relationship for 3 years.
Wow.
Was nice. It was not that nice actually, but everything went well and we got married. We have been together for 10 years.
Oh my God.
So have Angie. But it was really difficult. It was really difficult, especially because I didn't want to leave.
Okay.
But I did it.
Wow. Looking back, what were the biggest challenge and learning your, like a learning you had throughout your journey in Ireland, both as a student and as a legal professional?
Well, definitely, with no doubts, the language. It has always been the biggest challenge for me. So, as a student, was the first time that I left Brazil, that I was abroad. I have been studying English since I was 7 years old, so I was really good at grammar and vocabulary, but I didn't know that I was gonna need to deal with the accent. And I need to tell you, it was really hard. It hit me hard when I got to Ireland, and then I need to deal with the Irish accent. It was really difficult at the time, but I got to use it, and now it is a little bit better. It's not 100% yet, but it's getting better.
I tell you exactly what my friends, my coworker, they said to me, I can understand you, so then your English is perfect. It's exactly what they said to me, and I try put that in my in my head all the time, so
yeah.
It's exactly what matters, so yeah. Sometimes I think we as a non-native English speaker, we care a lot about to be perfect, speak perfectly English, but to be honest, if they can understand us and we're doing really well our job, it's enough. Isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's something that I keep repeating to myself. You don't need to be perfect. At the end of the day, you were born in Brazil and you don't speak Portuguese perfectly, and you're never gonna talk. So I believe that's gonna be the same situation with English.
And imagine if someone, a local here in Ireland, they travel to Brazil, they won't speak Portuguese.
Yeah, that's true.
Then,
yeah, that's true.
What kinds of visas can people who want to work in marketing in Ireland get? Could you tell me more about this type of visas?
Yeah, so basically when it comes to employment permits, we have 8 different types of employment permits, okay? Of course, we're going to focus on the main ones here, which is the 2 of them, critical skills and general employment, okay? I'm going to start with the critical skills because I know that is the most desired one for the applicants, okay? But it's not the only option. We need to keep in mind that you have a lot of options available to the applicants. So we're starting off with the critical skills. Basically, it is a scheme designed for high-skilled professionals. Okay, so in this scheme, all those professionals who are high-skilled, they have at least a third-level degree, which is bachelor's degree, or relevant experience in the role. Okay, we have some requirements set up by the Department of Enterprise, Trade and Employment, which is the department that reviews all the employment permit applications, and they set up some rules in order to proceed with the application. One of the requirements, actually, it is about the salary. So in order to apply for critical skills today, you must be offered no less than 38,000 euros per year. It can be more than 38,000, but not less than 38,000. Another requirement, it is about the contract of employment. So the contract of employment offered must be no less than 2 years. It can be more than 2 years, but not less than 2 years. If the visa is approved, if it's granted, you're going to be given stamp 1 visa, and you're going to be able to remain under stamp 1 visa for 21 months. When you complete 21 months, you're going to be able to apply for stamp 4 visa, which means that you're going to be free from the company, basically, okay? You're going to be able to engage your own business, you're going to be able to change to another company, and then you can you can be under your stamp 4 until you complete 4 years. We have another procedure after you complete 5 years, but let's just talk until here. By the end of the 5th year, you're going to become eligible to apply towards citizenship, which is college naturalization by residency, but you need to complete 5 years living continuously here in the country.
Today's episode is sponsored by Jackie Almeida, Jiu-Jitsu and self-defense coach. With a TED Talk, she's passionate about empowering us in all areas of life. Offering mentorship, workshops, and seminars, she's focused on self-defense. So scan the QR code or click in the link below to learn more.
Go ahead.
Another question.
Go ahead.
I had my critical skills, and then I applied for the stamp 4. So I know now the government, they did few change. So for example, with my stamp 4, I can have, for example, my family here with me or not, and they be able to work or not.
Yeah, actually, you could have brought your family before, okay? Because under the critical skills scheme, you are entitled to apply for family reunification straight away as soon as your visa is granted, okay? So you could have brought your family. However, it is not every member of your family, okay? It is only the dependent family members, which includes your spouse, de facto partners, children, minor children, and oldest parents.
Like my mom,
Your mom and your father,
brother?
if they depend on you. Brothers, we have some exemptions. It's not going to be straightforward application because we're going to have to demonstrate to the department that they depend on you. Okay. It is not impossible, but it's not straightforward application.
But what that means that they depend on me, like they can't work.
Like they can work, but you need to prove that you are the provider. You provide financially to them. Like without your financial help, they're not gonna be able to maintain themselves. Okay, and that's the tricky part. That's the hardest part.
Probably is because the government, they don't want to, like, one person here that don't have a properly resource to live here, isn't it?
Exactly, and actually this is one of the main points when it comes to family reunification policy, okay? Because the department created a policy to regulate the family reunification applications, and the main one, it is the person that you're bringing to the country cannot become a burden to the state, and that goes for a lot of types of applications. So citizenships, work permits, dependents, is not just in relation to family reunification.
So I'm really sorry, but I think my questions will be good for you as well. So then I will make all my questions. So I have my stamp 4. So then how long take for I can properly apply for this citizenship?
5 years, okay? So it's going to depend, actually, okay? It's not 5 years, it's straight away. I know that you've held stamp 1G visa before, yeah?
No.
Oh no,
I was a stamp 2 student, English student. After that, I was critical skills.
Stamp 1.
Yes, stamp 1, and then
Stamp 4.
Stamp 4.
Okay, yeah, because you have a slightly difference there. Because before, stamp 1G visas holders, they couldn't apply for the time spent under stamp 1G visa wasn't reckonable towards citizenship. But now it is different. Okay, I think it was last year they changed it, and now it is reckonable towards citizenship. So that means if you finish the college, if you finish your master's degree or your PhD, you're going to be issued a stamp 1G visa, and then you're going to start to count from there. Okay, you're going to count 5 years. As you had stamp 2 visa and then you went straight away to stamp 1 visa, you're going to need to count from the date that your stamp 1 visa was issued. 5 years from there, you're going to be ready to apply for your citizenship. And there's 3 dots in the middle of this place, okay, in between. You're not going to be able to apply straight away for your citizenship. When it's about 6 months for your RP card to expire, you're going to have to apply for the long-term residency, because you cannot apply for citizenship if you don't have a valid visa. And it would make sense. Let's say that your permission would expire today, and by tomorrow you're going to be without a valid permission. So you're not going to be able to apply for citizenship. So that's why you're going to have to apply for long-term residency. Once it's granted, you're going to be giving your permission again, and then you can go ahead with the citizenship application.
Have you seen before the meme of the SpongeBob that have a 6 year later? It's exactly how I feel at the moment.
Well, sorry to tell you, but I don't think it's going to be only 6 years, because at the timing process for the Department of Justice to review a citizenship application, it is taking around 1 year, 1 year and a half. So it can be a little bit more than 6 years.
Okay, thank you.
You never know.
Yeah,
they say they are trying to expedite the time process, but hopefully, like last year back in November, they launched the system that now you're able to submit citizenship applications online. So it's much faster, much easier, paperless, and hopefully that's
my application was just online.
Yeah, online. So hopefully that's going to help to expedite the process.
Amazing. Tell now, please, about the general skills.
Well, the general employment, I know that a lot of applicants, they don't like it, okay? But I don't know why, because it is a scheme and it is permitted by the department. Of course, you're not going to be granted, you're not going to have the opportunity to be granted stamp 4, but you're going to have employment permission, okay? So when it comes to general employment, the requirements set up by the department, it is in relation to the salary. The payment offered cannot be less than 32,000 euros per year. It can be more, but cannot be less. In relation to the contract of employment, it has to be offered no less than 1 year. It can be offered more than 1 year, but not less than 1 year. Then we have as well the stamp that is going to be issued, which is going to be stamp 1 visa, and you're going to remain under stamp 1 visa for the whole period. By the end of the 5th year, you're going to become eligible to apply for citizenship naturalization by residency. When it comes to general employment, you have slightly differences from critical skills. Okay, so the biggest difference it is about the labor market needs test.
She's playing with the water, sorry.
No problem. Which is the advertisement. So the role that you're going to apply for must be advertised in 3 different channels. The first channel, it is in a local newspaper or a website, for example, as Indeed, for 3 days. The second channel, the role must be advertised in a national newspaper for also 3 days. And the third channel, the role must be advertised in the Department of Social Protection website for 28 days or jobs.ie website for also 20 days. I have a lot of clients that come to me and say, well, Mariana, I want to go through general employment, but I don't want to do the labor market needs test. That's not going to work because the application is going to be refused as soon as they receive it. And the reason it is because before they analyze the application itself, they have a triage. So if they observe that you don't fulfill the requirements, if you don't submit the mandatory documentation, the application is going to be refused straight away. Okay, so it's really important to going through all the requirements. There's other requirements, which is the 50-50 rule, whereas we need to prove, the company needs to prove to the department that at least 50% or more employees come from European Union or the Irish, and the rest are non-Irish and non-European. We have also the governmental fee, which is 1,000 euros. If the application is refused, you're entitled to request a refund of 90% of this amount. Okay, and then once you have collected all the documents, you just need to apply and wait.
You know everything.
There's a small point which I think is really important to mention, which is about the eligible and the ineligible list. Okay, so when you're going to apply through critical skills, you have the critical skills occupation list, which means that you can just go through this scheme if the role that you're going to apply for, it is on the list, falls on the list. However, in some cases, even though the position, it is not exactly as you can see on the list, you can try to adapt it. Of course, you're not going to lie, you're not going to create anything, but you can try to adapt it and then put an application under critical skills. On the other hand, we have the ineligible list, which means that if the position that you want to apply for falls under the ineligible list, you cannot proceed with the application. Of course, we have exemptions as well. For example, chefs, okay, chefs who work at restaurants, chefs de partie, coming chefs, executive chefs, they can apply, and they used to be ineligible, but now they are eligible. Healthcare assistants, they fall under the general employment. They used to be ineligible, now they're eligible, but they have a slightly difference there's a slightly difference in when it comes to the salary. They don't need to provide like 34,000 euros. Instead, they can apply based on 27,000 euros. So there's some exceptions made by the department. It depends on the shortage of the roles of the people they want to bring to Ireland to work.
Yeah, and it's a great point because, as you said, sometimes the title don't really looks like it's matching with the name that they have in the critical skills occupation list. That is exactly the next question. I go more deep on that, but just to have a background, I applied for my critical skills, and then I used the, let me see here, was the number 354, that is sales, marketing, and related associate professional. But they talk about marketer expert, and then in my contract was digital marketing expert to match really well with the critical skills occupation list. But actually I was marketing manager. So then of course nobody lied to no one, because the point it is, what is a marketing expert? The job description is kind of exactly what I'm doing as a marketing manager. The point is just the difference, the name of the job title, that don't really change much. But it's, the instruction that I had was just put similar as the occupation list, just in case you don't have any trouble and they don't understand what is that. I don't think that is part of the list.
No, you did right. Okay, actually, it is exactly what I do with my clients. There's some words that I try to avoid, because I know as soon as the person who is going to review the application, they can think that the position is going to fall under the ineligible list. So, for example, I don't like to use like assistants. I don't like to use secretaries, because I know that those falls under the ineligible list. So I try to avoid these words. But you have a lot of other words that you can use, and it means the same. In another point, I think it's really important as well to work on the description of the role and make sure that the description of the role is going to match with the title of the role. I like to say that the title of the role, it is the last thing that you're going to decide. First, you need to work on the description of the role, and the daily activities, and then you can define the title of the role.
Wow, that is really clever, really interesting. Let's go for the other question. In 2024, the critical skills list occupation, I'm just saying the 2024 because it's important you understand the list can change. So then just go to the website of the government just to making sure what I'm saying now to you is still right. So in 2024, in the critical skills occupation list, there are the categories in which marketing professionals can fit and apply for the visa. For example, number 213, information technology and telecommunication professional. 342, design occupation. 354, sales, marketing and related associate professionals. So I see a lot of people worried that their role doesn't seem to align with the permission list. What tips do you give to people who want to understand this, and companies that want to grant a visa but don't know which category to fit their employee to?
Yeah, so actually here you have two questions in one. Okay, so the first one it is, if you don't know if your title it is going to be accepted in order for you to put through an application for work permit, do as I said, work first on the description of the role, okay? Actually, before you work in the description of the role, have a look at the ineligible list and at the eligible list, okay? So make sure that if you're going through critical skills, the position is going to be there, and make sure if you're going through general employment, the position is not going to be there. Once it's done, go through the description of the role. See what the role requires to do. The third thing it is, make a list of the daily activities. What do you do in your role? Which activities you're going to develop in your daily activities? And then put all of this together. As I said, it doesn't need to be the exactly same title that you see on the list. Okay, it can be a different title. The only thing that you need to avoid it cannot be on the ineligible list, and if it's critical skills, it must be on the eligible list.
Yeah. Any additional tips for companies? For example, imagine a HR or a recruiter, they are looking at this episode at the moment. So there is something else that you like to tell them? Because sometimes it looks like they don't know what they have to do. It looks like it's a big and bureaucracy thing, but actually it's not.
It is not. So for companies, my advice would be first, how much you're willing to pay. Because when you're going to apply, you have clearly how much you need to pay in each category, in each scheme. So if you want to offer a job based on critical skills, you need to be aware that you're gonna have to pay no less than 38,000 euros. If you're going through critical general employment, you need to be aware that you're gonna have to pay no less than 34,000 euros. However, I have a trick for you, okay? Yeah. Let's say that the company wants to offer a job to an applicant, but for some reason they don't want to pay 38,000 euros and the position falls under the eligibility of critical skills occupation. They can apply under general employment and they can ask for the exemption of the advertisements. And the reason it is because the position, it is on the critical skills list.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
A lot of people don't know that. But you can do it. However, you're going to have to fulfill all the other requirements, and you're going to have to prove to the department that the specific positions, it is on the skills, on the critical skills list.
Oh, wow. That is great. That is great to know. So, my last question before we go for the second block and have fun. For those who want to know more details about work permits, where should they look for this information safely?
Definitely, 100% on the official website, Department of Enterprise, Trade and Employment. They have a specific area where you can check the news and updates. They are quite fast to release information as soon as it is updated. So go there straight away. Or alternatively, you can check on the web pages for trusted professionals. Okay, which you have a lot of here in Ireland. It doesn't need to be necessarily a solicitor, but you need to know that the person is a trusted professional.
Yeah, definitely make completely sense, because if you have any trouble, like it'd be really stressful for you, and we don't want more stress, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's right. And also, there's a lot of wrong information when it comes to this subject, not just about this, but from what I can see, when it comes to immigration law, people because we're all immigrants, majority of us, we have individual experience. That doesn't mean that my experience, it is applicable for you and vice versa. So each case, it is analyzed individually. We cannot base my experience and use it for you and the other way around.
Well
so you
done.
need to be careful.
That is good. That is good to hear from you. So then I would like to say thank you so much to being here. We didn't finish. I'd like just you tell our guests, our audience, how they can find you, if you want to share something else about your project, your company. So then feel free to talk to our audience.
Thank you very much. So if you guys want to know more about me, I have my Instagram page. It is Advogada no Mundo _ Brasil Irlanda. I have my LinkedIn, which is Mariana Cambauva, where you guys are going to be able to see my trajectory. You're going to be able to see my specializations. And that's it. I'm going to be more than happy to have you guys with me.
Lovely. And then don't forget, all the links that Mariana, she said, will be in the description below. And then as well, the links to, you can talk to her from her social medias, will be in the description of this video as well. So thank you so much. We go to the second block. We are a Marketing in Ireland community, helping immigrants, marketers, and students succeed in their career. Join our community. It's completely free and always will be free. If you're looking for exclusive content and the opportunity to meet with me, if that is interesting you, consider upgrading to a pro membership. Details can be found in the description. So, Mariana, are you ready?
More than ready.
So, I make you just 2 questions, and then you decide if you answer or if you eat, and then you have to show to this camera that. Okay?
No problem.
So then I tell you the 2 questions. Change here. I tell you the 2 questions, okay?
Okay.
First one. Have you ever seen a work-related situation that you consider unfair to an immigrant? That would be the first question. Second question, have you ever seen a company taking illegal actions to take advantage of a candidate? So, let's go for the first question. Have you seen a work-related situation that you consider unfair to an immigrant? Will you answer or eat?
I will answer.
Oh, please tell us.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, I did. Of course, we're not happy when this type of situation happens with people. It's not that we're expecting, especially when you work on their process, in the process. But I've seen companies, once the application is approved, once they already have the people work for them, they start to act aggressively, verbally, or even physically, not physically, but psychological, because they know that it is difficult, like not extremely difficult, but it's kind of sensitive for someone to find a job to sponsor that. So they use that against the person, and they don't go by the rules. So they start to give more times for them to work. They don't do what they promised to do in the contract. So unfortunately, this type of situation happens.
I read a comment from a member that she said the company, after give the work permit for her, they wasn't really paid her well, wasn't really paid her.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's really sad.
It is sad, and also at the same time, if the company is not paying properly according to what they stated on the application, that's going to bring consequences to the applicant in the future. Because imagine when you have to renew your visa, you're gonna have your permission. You're gonna have to explain to the department that the salary that you stated in the application, it is the salary that you're earning, and actually it's not, because you're going to be able to see it through the employment detail summary. So that's going to bring huge complications for you in the future. It's not just for the company.
Yeah, it's really sad that. And then I had the great experience. I never had this kind of experience, so I'm really glad of that. The opposite, the companies that I work at, they were really fair with me. They were really good with me. So yeah, it's a pity. It's a pity. Know that.
Yeah.
So okay, I want something more fun, more chilled out this vibe here. So have you ever seen a company take illegal action to take advantage of a candidate? Will you answer or eat?
Better eat.
Eat. So close your eyes. You can't see. Don't worry, it is not cat food. Close your eyes. Oh. So I put in your hands now. Don't look.
Oh my God.
And then you can put in your mouth. You know what is that? I think you like that. Or don't.
Jaca.
Oh.
Is it?
Yeah, it is jackfruit. It is jackfruit. Do you like jackfruit?
No, actually. But I can eat. No, there's no problem.
It's fine, isn't
Better
it?
than cat food. Well, I've never tried, but I'm assuming.
So, that was great. We will go for the third block. So, before, just so they know a little bit how be the third block, we will answer questions like the Stamp 4 visa is the much desired permanent resident visa in Ireland for those working legally in the country. Could you walk us through the step-by-step process of applying for a Stamp 4? And if your job place isn't sure about giving your visa for general skills or critical skills, what do you advise to this person? So then, wait, because before we move on the third block with exclusive content, I'd like to say thank you, Jackie Almeida, for sponsoring this episode. To learn more, a special thank you for SWA for assisting students in finding the best university, and Dagda Visual for their support in recording this podcast. So if you are looking for a digital marketing service, talk to them. Now, let's move on the third block with exclusive content for members who have signed up for Pro membership. For more details, please, the link it is in the description. So, see you there. Up next, exclusive content for Pro members. Join now to access all our special content and workshops. Just become a Pro member, scan the QR code. See you there!